Hello, my name is Morris Copeland. I am the Director of the Juvenile Services Department here in Miami-Dade County. And my responsibility lies in directing the Juvenile Assessment Center along with all of the diversionary programs here in our community. I've worked at this job or in this profession for over 30 years, and I've always felt that it was a changing and evolving environment, and I wanted to be a part of that process of making it better. And so what I wanted to do today is give you just a little bit of who we are, why we exist, and then really focus in on the issues that we really care about the most is gun violence in our community. First, we have done some very, very good work with our partners across all of the different disciplines. Any and all organizations that have anything to do with children, we work with to prepare ourselves for the eventuality of changing and reforming our criminal justice system. And so in doing so, this has not been just one organization. This has been a collaborative effort to make things better for children and families in our community. And as we move forward, we're consistently using data to drive our processes, to let us know what's happening in our community, along with information and intel from the families that we deal with, that we talk to every day, the families that we serve. We survey our children. We make sure we get a better understanding of what's going on because things are constantly changing. I want to talk a little bit about why I do what I do. And I'll begin that process by explaining to you what happened to me as a young man, probably 13, 14 years old. I was trying to find myself. I was associating with young men that didn't have my best interests at heart. And we got into a confrontation with some other young men, and one of the young men pulled a .38 weapon and put it to my forehead. And at that point in time, I had no fear of the consequences. And I told him to pull the trigger. I dared him to pull the trigger. But he did not. He uncocked the gun, he put it down, and he told me to leave. After that experience, I went home. I thought about all of the hurt and pain that could have caused my mother, my father, my sisters, my extended family, my teachers, my coaches, everyone that knew me, how that would have affected them at that moment, and then on into the future, because of the mere fact that I was involved in something that could have taken my life, and I wouldn't be sitting here today as the director of this department delivering this message. I've also lost family members and close friends to gun violence. And so as I speak to you today, I speak to you not as a person that is trying to come from the outside, trying to understand the problem, trying to make sense of it. I'm coming to you as a person that has lived it, that has had a very traumatic experience with it, and understanding the fact that no one should have to go through that, particularly not a child. So as I talk to you today about gun violence, there's some things that I want you to know that are very, very, very important. The issue is multifaceted. The issue has no one solution to it. There are many, many things that we could be doing, and that we are doing collectively across the country, within these communities, across international borders, that we're trying to find ways to get to the root causes. And that's one thing that I'm extremely excited about and proud of in our community, that we have put a lot of time and effort into doing that. However, our numbers have dropped significantly in the area of criminality amongst young people, and also in the area of gun violence. However, one life lost to gun violence is one too many. One child shot and maimed or hurt is one life too many. One injury too many. And so we do not sit back and rest on our laurels. We will never do that. But what we will do is give you the facts and be honest and open about what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. We may not be able to eradicate all of gun violence, but we definitely can mitigate it. And that is our goal. By mitigating, eventually we will be able to eradicate it. And so as I talk to you in depth, there are some specific things that you need to know. That when we deal with these young men that have come through our facility, that have been charged with these kinds of offenses, there are common themes that we see amongst them. And the first is that the people that they associate with do not have their best interest at heart. Secondly, many of them use substances to self-medicate because they have undiagnosed mental health issues. Many of them have had little to no success in the school environment, and they find it to be a place that they're not wanted. And first and foremost, all of them have experienced trauma, and many of them have been victims themselves. So when we look at this issue of gun violence and how it affects us holistically, and how it's affecting our children, and how they have access to weapons like never before, and you couple all of these risk factors together, you have a recipe for disaster. And so we focus on those things. And the biggest hurdle that we find is mentorship. Because we know when a young person has a meaningful relationship with an adult figure that they are proud to be around, they feel good about, they have a aspiration to be like that person. Those things make a world of difference in that person's life. And so all of those aspects of those children's lives that we've identified through research, through data, through communicating with them personally by taking surveys of what they think, of what they know, of how they feel, along with their parents, has given us a lot of information and a lot of advice, and really allowed us to tailor our services to meet those needs. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But we continue to push forward, we continue to listen, and we continue to collaborate. And so I want to leave you with a couple of things. First and foremost, you have to be brave. You have to have grit. You have to understand, you have to take ownership of your community. You have to be an advocate for you and yours. And you and yours extends into the greater community. You have to be ready to make changes. You have to be ready to face adversity. And you have to be ready and willing to reach out to others that you may not have had any contact with. Somebody that gives off a good vibe. Somebody that's doing something positive in your community. And it could be your parents in your home. It could be your uncle. It could be a pastor. It could be a police officer. It could be a next door neighbor. Whomever that person may be, you have to step up and ask for help, because we all need help. We all need guidance. at one point or time in our lives. So I leave you with that, and I leave you with stay safe and stay smart. Thank you.